Marshall. Marshall travels to Louisiana. All right. Louisiana's going to be out without Ben Woolridge. I don't think it matters that much. As the season's gone on, we know Chandler Fields has experience. We know Chandler Fields is pretty solid. This line is at 5.5, though, right? And now that big part of that is, Marshall being on the road, but Marshall's been playing some dang good football recently. 5.5 to me feels like a lot of points here. It's just on the road, right? It's tough to it's tough to take a team on the road here in the Sun Belt against a Louisiana team that kind of felt like the team of destiny in the Sun Belt, right? You had that one slip up to South Alabama, who, by the way, is a pretty good football team. All right, let's not
When they're
forget about
playing
that.
well too, they are dangerous.
Yeah, they're very dangerous. Major Applewhite. It'll be tough picking them in the bowl game because you don't know what South Alabama team you're going to get, right? But Major Applewhite is a dang good offensive coordinator there. Gio Lopez, Jamal Pritchett, Bothwell. They got good talent there. But Marshall, I mean, in the Sun Belt East, which was an absolute crazy spectacle. I mean, Marshall lost one game in the Sun Belt, and it was a fourth quarter lead that they blew.
Yeah, they just choked it away to Georgia Southern, right?
Yeah, so I like. Let's not forget about how good Marshall has been playing. Right, they're 9-3 on the year. They have good wins in the Sun Belt. You went to Old Dominion and found a way to win that game. Uh, You absolutely beat the piss out of Appalachian State. You beat James Madison in overtime and you found a way to come back in that football game late and send it to overtime and do your job there.
Your also only
I think
losses
Marshall's
out of
pretty good.
conference are Ohio State and Virginia Tech. And I know maybe those teams are having quote unquote disappointing seasons, but they're still supremely talented teams compared to the rest of the Sun Belt. So they're not absolute bad losses at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I do think, though, Louisiana has better wins. I think they do have a better team. I I don't know. This might sound crazy, but I might give Louisiana a slight coaching edge, which might sound crazy to some Sunbelt fans, but I I like Charles Huff. I don't love him. Is that crazy? Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, he does deserve a hell of a job for what he's done with this
Oh
team
yeah,
this year and putting him in a
and in
spot.
past years too. Last year didn't look great, but he's done really good with this Marshall program.
And in close games too, I've been impressed with how they've handled things. Right, you saw the comeback win last, or not comeback, but kind of comeback win against Old Dominion, comeback against James Madison, right, taking UL Monroe, down to the wire. It's been really impressive, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess looking at it, Doc Holliday had this team buzzing pretty good, but I mean Charles Huff also had to deal with the move to the Sun Belt as well, and I would say that that's a bit of a talent upgrade. I would say, even though the CUSA that he played in, Doc Holliday played in, was a little bit more effective, but I I think Marshall's pretty good. I think I'm gonna take Louisiana win, Marshall cover. I know it's kind of a weird way to do that. I think that this could middle. I think this is going to be a close game. All right, I think the backdoor covers in play. I think this could be a one possession game in the fourth quarter. I really do believe that this is going to be a great football game, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of gonna fade here. I like Louisiana to cover even in the spot. I think being at home is a big deal. The way that they do stop the run is very important. Right, they're top five in the Sun Belt. They're also offensive efficiency. I know a lot of that is with Woolridge, but there's not been a crazy drop off with Fields. They are very lucky to have some experience there behind their starting quarterback. We've talked about that with some teams battling injuries, and maybe there being a steep drop off. I haven't quite experienced that yet, and so it gives me confidence in this offense to get it going here. And also on third down, Louisiana is so good, and Marshall's actually really good getting off the field there. So that'd be interesting to see the dynamics there. But what Marshall does so well is run the football, right? Braxton, Turner, all those guys there, a couple running backs that they do like to rotate through. Louisiana Lafayette does not give up explosive run plays. They are second in the Sun Belt in fewest amount of 10 plus rushing yard plays. And if you want to stay ahead of the chains, when you get off the field on third down, which you've been, not great at, that's got to be a spot where that has to win here at home. And also put Marshall in a spot. Yes, they have come back from behind, but it's not been like crazy, insurmountable leads late in the game. And credit to them too, they have not wavered from their, you know, formula to win football games. They're a team. We talked about it with Iowa State. We talked about it with other teams where if you get down early, Marshall does not waver from running the football, which is awesome. And I do credit Charles Huff and that staff for staying consistent, true to who they are, and realizing that's a long football game. 60 minutes is a lot of time. Your best chance to win is doing what you are good at offensively and just putting points up on the board. Yeah, but I also think Louisiana here, great football. Even after what was run out, I was really impressed with how they beat Troy, a Troy team that's playing good football. Right, they ended up on kind of a hot streak towards the end there, winning 3 of their last 4 and almost beating Arkansas State as well. So yeah, I like Louisiana Lafayette. Sucks that it's probably not going to be for a playoff spot for them, but I still think this means a lot to a lot of people. The Sun Belt has been one of our favorite conferences to cover this year, past couple of years, and it obviously means a ton. It's in Louisiana too. I wish there was, I like the home field in conference championship games, but I think it would be cool for them to play in like the Superdome or maybe go to Birmingham, whatever it may be. Um, Whatever.
I'm always a more games on campus, the better kind of guy. But I don't know. I'm a yes. I just I like that, man. I
I'm with you
like that.
too. I'm with you too. But also, like, it sucks that Marshall won their like this is a division, right? So like, it's not like they're playing each other. It's not like you can compare the two like season outputs. It was based on different poll metrics. I think it ended up being depending on where Louisiana and Marshall were at and ranked to have home field advantage. So it's not like they played each other and like Louisiana deserved to have home field advantage, that much more than Marshall. If it's divisions, I think it would be interesting. But yeah, I'm with you though. In terms of more games, the better on campus. Happy for those fans, those seniors, to have another home game opportunity to play in front of their home crowd. And also, I do think it is nice that you don't have to ask these fan bases to travel to neutral sites and to pay the extra money. Right, they can just kind of stay at home and pack, the stadium, for their home team, whoever it may be. Cajun Field.
It'll be packed.